Hi everyone, I got a message asking if I could make some more videos, so yeah, I asked what you might want and someone asked me if I could do a video on choosing recovery. So I thought we could just sit, have a little chat about some of the things that might be going on when you're faced with choosing recovery or going into that kind of stage or having those discussions with people. First of all, I will apologise, as you can see I have a white little puppy. Oh, he's not really a puppy anymore, running around. I am dog sitting, so if there are some random noises or I am distracted by dogs, I do apologise. Okay, so there's Waldo just running around. So choosing recovery, that's quite a tough question because I think, as with many other mental illnesses, I think with eating disorders, the truth is they don't want you to recover, they don't want you to get better, and so half the time it feels like you're fighting against yourself, when in fact it's actually the disorder that doesn't want you to be getting better. So firstly, I want you to know that it's okay if you don't 100% want to recover. I don't think there's anyone ever that has sat there and gone, right, I'm 100% ready to recover, and that they've just gone and done it. No, I don't think it happens like that. I think that's a really unrealistic view to have on recovery. In the beginning, I didn't really want recovery, and that's tough because you're there and you can see why it might be good and why you might choose recovery, but you can't really apply it to yourself, and that's hard, and that's when you have to put in a lot of mental hard work to work out why you want to recover and what you want to work towards. I think it's important to say that obviously you're never going to want to 100% recover, but that there's also never going to be a perfect time to choose recovery. Your illness will try to make you believe that you should wait until X or Y happens, or when you get to a certain weight, or when things align, or whatever it is. Your illness will try to make you believe that you should wait for recovery and that there's a better time to do it. But the truth is that there's never going to be a right time for you to recover. There's always going to be another excuse, another thing that it will try and tell you that you should wait for. I'm trying to think of the quote, but it's like, if not now, when? If you don't do it today, what are you waiting for? Sorry, the dog's just having a little fight. What are you waiting for? What is that thing that you feel would push you into choosing recovery? And maybe that's something you need to think about is, well, what would have to happen to make me believe that I could choose recovery? And most of the time, if not 99.9% of the time, that is your illness talking, and it's your illness that's trying to make you put off recovery and life and all of those other reasons that are all very individual to each person. And I suppose that's another thing, is to remember that everyone is different. There's no one set way to recover, there is no one ideal that you should be following. Each person has their own struggles, each person is in the position they are because of certain reasons. No two illnesses are the same, and that makes recovery really difficult, because you could look at someone else's recovery and think, oh, am I not doing it right because I'm not doing it like they are? But the truth is that we're all in different positions and we're all facing different hurdles and things in life that, of course, our recovery is going to look different. We're different people, we have been through different things in life, and so yeah, that's one thing I should say, is do not compare your recovery to someone else's, especially online, because sometimes people put forward what they want you to show you, as with all social media. They don't put the ins and outs, because you can't just, it's difficult to explain, but you can't put everything out there, because even like myself, I can't even comprehend half the things that go through my mind, let alone try and share them as well at the same time. And that's really difficult, because you can get a warped sense of what is real and what you think recovery is, when in fact recovery is okay, recovery is messy, it hurts. There are going to be days when you're going to want to give up. There are going to be days where you feel a bit better, when you start to feel a little more like yourself, or you do something completely different that you haven't done in years. And it's those moments, those little snapshots of life, that you have to hold on to, because the truth is that recovery is hard because there is no break. You are working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You don't get time off. It is a full-time job. You can't just stop one day and think, oh, I'll stop for today. I'll jump back on tomorrow. But that doesn't really happen, because as soon as you start to jump off, that's when the illness gets back in and it starts to wriggle around and make excuses, and soon you find yourself like, it's a slippery slope, isn't it? So yeah, that's what I just wanted to say. Also, if you're waiting for a reason to recover, that is definitely your illness, because that didn't come across right, sorry. Because it feels like you're waiting for a moment and you feel like it is you, but it's not. And that's sometimes scary because you can't always trust your own mind. Sorry, I'm half losing the dogs at the same time. They're fine. Flash! Right, there's one. There's two. Okay, woohoo. So yeah, there's always going to be another reason to put it off. There's always going to be a goalpost that it will set, but then as soon as you reach that, or it becomes closer, it will just move the goalposts again. Because at the end of the day, your illness does not want you to live. That is the nitty gritty of it all, is that anorexia or your ED or whatever, it does not want you alive, it does not want you living, and so it's going to do everything it can to stop that. Yeah, so that it will make you feel like, I like this term, a unicorn, as in like you're magical, you're different. Recovery doesn't apply to you like it would to others. So you could sit there and think, oh, that person has to do X or Y, or they have to eat more and gain weight. But no, I don't have to, because, well, I'm different. That's not the same. But the truth is that you're not a unicorn. You are a human being, and you deserve to have a life beyond this illness. And the only way for you to begin to, hey Flash, hey, the only way for you to begin to see that is when you start stepping out there. Hey Flash, it's okay. Sorry, he's getting a little upset. Hey boy, it's okay. The only way, hey, is to start stepping out there and stepping outside of your comfort zone. I've realised that I'm ranting on a bit, but the person asked this because they wanted some help on choosing recovery, and I realised I'm not really getting into that. But the truth is that you are the only one that can save yourself at the end of the day. Like, you can go to as many appointments, you can be told X or Y, or you could be such a weight or whatever it is that your mind might fixate on, but no one can save you but yourself. And that's difficult because in the beginning, recovery feels like a really hard slog, and you're having to do things multiple times a day that you don't really want to do. But those are the key moments when you've got to hold on, like when you don't feel like you want to be eating that snack or having dinner or whatever it is. You have to try and use the motivational activities or cards or whatever you work with, or what helps you, to help you see that actually eating this snack isn't gonna have a massive effect. It's not the end of the world, and that food is not the enemy. So coming into that on choosing recovery, when I was quite unwell at the beginning of the year, what really helped me was writing out pros and cons. So I would sit and I would write out the pros and cons of anorexia and staying where I was, or just kind of following down the routes that it wanted me to go down. And then I did another one on the pros and cons of recovery and what it could bring me, and that really helped to kind of put things in perspective. At the time I also was doing them for inpatient as well, because that's what I was facing, and ultimately it helped me to see that at the end of the day I would have to come out of hospital and I'd have to take the reins of my recovery again. So why almost go through the process twice? So if you were going into an admission and doing the hard work there, but then having to come out and take back the reins again and having to relearn it all, I kind of realised that it's got to come from me at the end of the day. Yes, I could go in, I could gain weight and come back out, but would that just lead down the same roads that I've been down a number of times before? And so yeah, writing out these pros and cons really helped to put in perspective what I wanted, sort of. It was also helpful to think about what motivations I had and things that I wanted to be able to do that maybe my illness was holding me back from. So things like being able to drive, being able to exercise for fun, being able to go out, being able to eat with family, whatever it is or was. I would write it down on just like a little diagram. It doesn't have to be anything fancy, you don't have to do anything big, but it's just helpful to get those things down on paper. I also made some motivational flashcards, which were just little snippets. Sorry, the dogs are fighting again. They're play fighting, don't worry. They're really good friends. So yeah, I wrote out little motivational cards that were things like just little reminders that I could use for when my head... Hey! Flash! Hey! Hey, 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 hey! Sorry. Waldo! Sorry, I'm gonna have to go over. So yeah, I wrote out these flashcards. Hey, you two! Hey, 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 hey! Hey! What's going on? Okay, so I wrote out these flashcards, and they would just be little reminders like, you are worth it, or do you want to spend the rest of your life dictated by numbers, or food is not the enemy. All these little lovely phrases that are really helpful in recovery to have. Sorry, look how would this not make you happy? Just being cuddled by lots of dogs. So yeah, I did lots of those, and I think it's quite important to get quite, I don't know how to say it, hey boy, to get creative and to tap into those sides and think about what you like to do. So that would lead back to the video I made last time about the distraction box and filling, these dogs are mad, filling the distraction box with things that you can do after you've had a meal or a snack, so that you can refocus, you can ground yourself and remember why you are doing this. And the reason you are doing this is for you. It might not feel like you always want to do it, and recovery can be really hard at times, but the more you... Hey! They're really ruining this moment. The more you stick with it, and the more you ride out the waves, hey, 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 the better it does get. And I can honestly say that through nutrition, and by this I mean enough nutrition, I mean giving your body and your mind enough to be able to think and work against those disordered thoughts, it does, it's almost like you do begin to see a light, and you begin to see why you're doing it. And this is why you're doing it. For this puppy, no. He's lovely. So yeah, I realise I am going on a bit, and I might not have been very helpful in what I've talked about, but hopefully this little ramble to you while I let the dogs exercise with me sitting down has helped in some way. I wish I could go into more. I could talk for hours, I really could, on recovery and things, and yeah, I just hope that this might have been able to help someone or reassure you that you are not alone in your battles. So yeah, if you want some more videos, do send me a message and I'll make them. I don't know whether people actually like these, and this is going to be a nightmare to upload because I've just seen that I rambled for like 15 minutes nearly. Oh no. Okay, well, I will try and get this up as soon as I can, and in the meantime I'm going to go inside with these lovely ones and maybe read for a bit, or journaling, write things down. That's what I was gonna say, is write, do things that you enjoy. Your concentration will come back and you will be able to do those things again. So yeah, yeah, I better leave this here because we're at 14:30 nearly, and the dogs are looking at me because they probably want food, so I better go and give them some food, and then later I'll get myself a snack. Yeah, hope you all have a lovely morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you may be at the moment. Yeah, take care of yourselves.